So a couple of weeks ago, right, I walk into my room. I've got 3 assignments I have to do. I've got to make some videos. I've got some work I've got to do. It's a lot of work, so I'm like, okay, let's go, let's do this. I look at my computer. I look at my bed. And the work can wait. So I lie down on my bed and I pull out my phone. I may as well check YouTube while I'm here. I'll start working at 2 p.m. So I scroll on YouTube, watch it for a while. And now it's 2:05. Oh no, I missed 2 p.m. How about I start working at 2:30? Yeah, I'll start working at 2:30. Keep playing on my phone. 2:30 comes. Oh man, I've got all day, I'll start working later, An hour passes. 2 hours pass. 3 hours pass. And I still have not started working. And I realize the time. Oh my goodness, I've had all day and I've done no work. So in anger, I throw my phone to the side and I'm like, okay, we're working now. And I sit down on my computer, open up my document to do my work, and I start working. And after 10 minutes of working, I think, wow, this isn't that bad. I just spent the past 4 hours running away from this. It's not that bad. If I had started this 4 hours ago, I would be free now. I would not be working. How did this happen? Now, if you're procrastinating, I guarantee it's because you're doing something fun at the time. No one is like sitting there staring at the wall procrastinating, right? If you're procrastinating, it's probably because, you're on your phone or you're playing a video game or, you're just walking around or, coping, doing random stuff, right? Because anything is easier than that big daunting task that you have to do, right? Your brain's gonna think it's much easier to just keep doing this than to do that big task. Because your brain prefers instant gratification than delayed gratification. So, the usual advice for beating procrastination is like, oh, the 5-second rule, count to 5, stand up and do your work. But that doesn't work because if you're putting off doing your work, you're going to put off doing the 5-second rule, right? So the answer is not to wait for a spike in motivation because that spike will take hours to come or it will take a long time. So here's what you do instead. Instead of waiting for that motivation to come, instead move into pain, move into discomfort. And from an area of pain and discomfort, that really big daunting task will seem much more attractive. So I'll explain to you what I mean by pain in a second. So first let me explain to you this experiment. So there's a rat in a tube, right? And in front of the rat, they dangle a piece of cheese. So what do you think the rat does? The rat moves towards the cheese because he wants the reward of the cheese. And then they did something else in this experiment. Behind the rat, they put the smell of a cat. So what do you think the rat did? He ran. So a positive reward, like cheese, will motivate a rat to move. But an even bigger motivation, pain, the smell of a predator coming. If you're procrastinating, it's because you're waiting for that piece of cheese to be rewarding enough for you to move towards it. But the alternate solution is to have some kind of pain pushing you, getting you out of that procrastination rut that you're in. So I'll explain exactly how to do this. The goal is to move to a state of discomfort. Step 1, literally do nothing. Like nothing. Like stare at your wall, do nothing. Because if you're doing entertaining things, scrolling on your phone, playing a video game, it may not seem fun. You may just be doing it because it's easy, but it's keeping you engaged, entertained. You want to turn everything off and do nothing because doing nothing will be boring. It will actually be boring and your brain will think it's painful. Because think about the last time you were bored just sitting there doing nothing. It was probably kind of painful, right? You're like, oh, I want to do something, maybe you pull out your phone or you go do random stuff. So that's step 1. Literally whatever you're doing, stop doing it and do nothing. You can probably do that, right? I'm literally saying all you have to do is do nothing. That's the first step to beating procrastination. So for me, if I'm scrolling on my phone, I'll literally turn it off, put it onto airplane mode, put it to the side, and just lie down. Literally, that's all you have to do. Do nothing. And usually that's enough. I'm like, oh, I'm so bored. Okay, I'll just do my assignment now. But we can take it one step further. We can move even further into discomfort. What you want to do is you want to do something that's painful for you. So I'll tell you what I do. Me, if I'm lying down and I've turned off all my devices and I'm literally just sitting there thinking, trying to be bored, trying to be uncomfortable. For me, cleaning my room is a little bit uncomfortable. It's not like, oh, super fun. It's a little bit painful, a little bit boring. So that's what I'll do. I'll start to clean up my room, clean up my workspace, clean up my clothes, pick up the clothes that are on the ground, do my bed, clean my room, whatever needs to be done. And often that's enough that doing my assignment will seem easy because I'll be like, okay, this is kind of boring. Doing my assignment actually seems a lot more attractive now. Because when you're in a position of pain, that daunting task, the reward you get from that assignment seems a lot more enjoyable. And you can take it a step further, and I often do this. So I learned this from the scientist, Andrew Huberman. You can take a cold shower. Because a cold shower is really painful. Like for most people, it'll be really uncomfortable, right? You take a cold shower, you get into that discomfort. Suddenly, like the hard thing that you were putting off seems a lot more rewarding. So from a scientific perspective, if you're interested, what happens is, so this is your dopamine level, right? When you have a cold shower, your dopamine drops. You get put into a position of pain. And whenever your dopamine drops, it will have an equivalent spike. So what will happen is the cold shower will make your dopamine drop. And then after the cold shower, your dopamine will rise. And it will rise for about 3 hours. So you will find you are way more motivated to do that thing if you have a cold shower. So find what's painful for you and do that. If you love cleaning, then maybe don't do that. Another thing is meditating. If you don't enjoy meditating, then meditating could be your painful activity. Or go for a walk or do something like that. Just get away from whatever semi-entertaining activity you're doing. So literally, that's what I'm saying. Step 1, do nothing. That's the quick fix to procrastination. To literally do nothing. And imagine this. Imagine if you put yourself in an empty room. Just all you had in that empty room was you and the document with your assignment. After like a couple hours of sitting there, or even after like 20 minutes of just sitting there with nothing to do, the assignment will actually seem entertaining because you will get rewarded for finishing it. So that's what you want to do. You want to put yourself into a situation where the only option you have is do nothing or do the assignment. Those are the two options you have. And the do nothing will become so painful that it will push you to do the assignment. Let this be your last video. If you're procrastinating, let this be your last video. Subscribe first of all if it helped, but turn this video off and go put your computer onto airplane mode. Go do it. And just sit there and do nothing. And if that's not good enough, then start doing something painful like cleaning or take a cold shower. Just do nothing, bro. I'm literally asking you to do nothing. Can you do that? So go do that now.